Sup nerds, I'm CuppaJoey and welcome back to another episode of r/menwritingwomen. It really struck me recently that I haven't covered this subreddit anywhere near as much as I should have. So without any further ado, we're going to be seeing some really real and accurate descriptions of women's anatomy and exactly what women act like. So listen up ladies, you might learn a thing or two here. I'm so sorry, don't cancel me please. Satan Was a Lesbian by Fred Haley. Ooh, adults only 18 plus. Because, somebody with a name like Fred Haley is definitely going to have a real insight into the lesbian psyche. Somebody called Fred Haley in the, in the 1960s, I think this is. No, it can't be that early. Maybe like 1970s, 1980s, probably, but... Yeah, they're really gonna know about a freaking sapphic mindsets. Oh, the Amazon description is beautiful. It says, here it is, the infamous book that provides the female... God, this is getting so worse. Here it is, the infamous book that proves, the female of the species is deadlier than the male. Young Charlene knew something was different about her, but never expected the depraved act she committed her adult life. She lived in a divine body which lured men only close enough to be repelled by the black coldness of her eyes. With women, it was different. The cold stare, the icy calm of the little beauty drew them like a lodestone, and they melted under the Duval technique of keeping passion under tight control until lust fulfilled its promise, but all in its proper time. Each of Charlene's conquests knew the attainments of the peak had been worth the climb. One spot of warmth through her armor. Tiny, helpless little Cynthia, who became completely, turned on. When she was thoroughly frightened, let love in to ravish Charlene, only to make life more difficult for this hot and hungry hellcat. Oh, for God's sake. Hot and hungry hellcat. Oh, God. I mean, part of it I could understand when it was, luring men in, but then they're put off, whereas, the lesbians are like, I'm totally for this. That is, the only bit that's kind of accurate. The rest, especially with the tiny, helpless little, get your creepy power fantasies away from me, and, is it bad that I kind of want to read this book now? It just seems so freaking terrible. I hope that writing this was as therapeutic for Fred as as it probably should have been, or maybe shouldn't have been, I don't know. The first thing about her that struck him was her beautiful blonde hair. From any novel. This is from a 1910 edition of Life magazine. I just love that this is some early era crap posting, this is a meme. This is a meme, right? This is just a 100-year-old meme, and sadly, not much has really changed in the idea of how men are struck by women in freaking novels, except this time you're allowed to write about the tits, so they tend to go absolutely freaking ape crap over the tits. I nearly said the other word that starts with sh, but I love this picture. I love this. Oh, I really wish that I could make out the signature at the bottom, because I would like to think that this was done by a woman. Irritated by the delay, I was tempted to drive around the van. Behind me, a handsome Spanish woman sat at the wheel of an open-topped Mercedes, remaking her lipstick over a strong mouth designed for any activity other than eating. Intrigued by her lazy sexual confidence, I smiled as she fingered her mascara and lightly brushed the undersides of her eyelashes, like an indolent lover. Who was she? A nightclub cashier, a property tycoon's mistress, or a local prostitute returning to La Linea with a fresh stock of condoms and sex aids? Delightful. This is from a novel called Cocaine Nights by J.G. Ballard. I did decide to, give the writer a tiny, just a teensy benefit of the doubt. And I thought, you know what, before I assume that this is some kind of projection, I'll have a look at the novel, I'll type it up, I'll look up the character, because this is written from the first person perspective, so I was like, well, maybe the protagonist is a racist, maybe he is flawed, maybe the protagonist is supposed to be some kind of terrible, perverted creep. Well, I don't know if any of you heard that. My cat just freaking squeaked at the door. He squeaks when he wants attention. Just loud freaking squeak. Anyway, I figured, you know what, I'm going to not just, like, condemn what a terrible author like I would normally. I'm gonna see if the protagonist is supposed to be a complete arse, or whether this is just projection, and after a little bit of research on the old Wikipedia and TV tropes, I have come to the conclusion that this is projection. Like, he's supposed to be somebody that's, trying to find, like, his brother or whatever, or all these dark secrets that are going on to do with crime in this dystopian world. And right bang in the middle of that, he's come across a Spanish woman that's pretty and thought, must be a prostitute, I'm sorry, but what? Oh, I just, when you take this situation, when you think about what is actually going on, this is a woman who is just sitting in her car, reapplying her makeup, first her lipstick, then her mascara, and this guy is just staring like, oh, that mouth's made for anything other than eating. Like, what? Is what I have to say to that. And then, who was she? Oh, well, a pretty Hispanic woman in a fancy car can only be a nightclub cashier, a property tycoon's mistress, or a sex worker. I mean, he uses prostitute. I don't really want to use that word anymore, but it's deliberately used in a seedy way. It's like, she ain't the seedy one here, guy. I bet this is something that happens. I bet he saw, like, a random woman just, like, going about her day, and then just stopped and had this weird, like, moment about her, and then decided, you know what, I best write this in my book. That's going to be some freaking amazing writing. And instead you got this crap. This was written in 1998 as well. There's absolutely no freaking excuse for it. Me every month has my period again. Me every month. I don't want to freaking go through this again, god damn it. And then after that, there was this extremely helpful comment from a very, very kind gentleman that decided to tell these ladies exactly what they should do about their periods. Well, periods suck. Trust me, I was emotionally close with a woman. In fact, close enough to feel her goddamn periods. Frick, I freaking hated it. Men, don't get that attached. Be supportive, feed her ice cream, and whatever else she asks for, but don't get attached enough to feel them. It's not worth it. Anyway, I hate to be callous, but that's just your body telling you to hurry up and get pregnant. Of course, birth control also makes them not as bad, depending on what kind. Of course, you find out that there's more kinds of birth control than there are types of oil, which is a pain. There are more period blood containment things, yes, that includes tampons, pads, cups, etc. Then there are types of oil, according to my dad, who actually knows this crap about the oil, saying there's like 4 types, yes, talking about motor oil here. So, ladies, find what's right for you, ask a doctor, test some different period things out, it's for your own good. And then, of course, the comments were, really, really grateful for the help. They say, what the frick are you talking about? I thought I couldn't fricking read for a minute. What? Did this guy just assume women didn't know that? Did he just mansplain periods? Did he imply he could actually feel someone else's period? Motor oil? There's a lot to unpack here, but let's just throw away the whole suitcase. I mean, I mansplain periods all the time. As a former menstruator, I like to, sit down and be like, let me tell you about my manly period, let me tell you about when that stopped. Women really like it when you randomly sit with them and just say that. They freaking love it. They always laugh and then walk away, I don't know why. Seriously, though, I mean, the guy's got freaking... Is that Broly? Is that Broly from Dragon Ball Z? God damn it. But this is something that I've seen so often. It's just like men randomly talking about, cis female anatomy, like periods and such. And, you know, just talking about it like it's some weird poetic thing. Oh, it's like this, you need to do this. The problem with women is that they're just not all asking their doctors for something that'll stop it from hurting. And like, oh no, you need to get pregnant. Like, what? And what is all that crap about? I was emotionally close with a woman and could feel her period. Guys, it's not worth it. And what freaking Elliot Roger bollocks is that? Like, it sounds like he has never been close to a woman in his life, but read this stuff on some incel board and just assumes, like, oh, if I talk to women, then they're gonna think that I know this if I say all this crap. That wasn't very good, my guy. It wasn't very good at all. There is something incredibly beautiful about a young woman just standing there singing. She's not jumping around or dancing or flailing her arms or making any other exaggerated movements. She's just singing. She looks a little scared, even a bit uncomfortable. She seems innocent, but at the same time, an underlying sexual energy is there, and she sings with confidence. All this packaged into one tiny young lady. Amazing! I felt my skin just freaking crawl. First of all, tiny young lady, like, this is a kid, right? Like, this is a kid. I'm sorry, but look at her. I don't believe, I do not believe for like a single second that is a full-grown woman, okay? Definitely under 18 if you really want to freaking put a number on it, because, you know, like, anybody that, you know, fusses around that is creepy as hell. But, like, this is a kid, right? This is just a freaking kid. And the way that he's going, oh, she looks scared and uncomfortable, but there's an underlying sexual energy. Like, no, you shouldn't be looking at women scared and uncomfortable. You should be looking at little girls scared and uncomfortable and get some kind of weird freaking pervy fulfillment out of that. And who the hell were the 65 creeps that, you know, liked that comment? This is just, oh god, I hate the world. This is just so grim. This is so sad. And I don't want to see the world go this way. I don't want this crap to be, you know, accepted. For your consideration, the literary dynamo that is Vince Laurie. Take it all, and then some, Ray grunted, his reproductive glands expanding themselves of hormone overload. It's all going into your snatch! His accelerated wallops into her holding tank succeeded in providing her with the needed stimulation to inaugurate her own climax, allowing the sweet ache in her muff to consume her. Julie joyously birthed her their orgasm. Oh Jesus! She exclaimed. I've just had triplets, sir! Suck that wad right into the bank! Capitulating from their combined sexual efforts, the two sped forms separated from whence they were joined, their genitalia virtually licking their proverbial wounds. Julie collapsed onto her stomach, breathing harshly, while Ray flung himself onto his back, clutching at his deflated dong in an attempt to massage its depleted surfaces. Well, I mean, this is certainly how sex normally happens for most people, I think. I mean, how do you really know that you have reached orgasm unless your reproductive glands expand themselves of hormone overload? I'm loving, like, all of the freaking exclamation marks as well. Like Vince himself is just so excited at reading them. Or, like, writing them rather, like, of hormone overload, her own climax, her orgasm, proverbial wounds, you know, like, these are just the words, it's the actual writing, it's just so many exclamation marks, like, oh my god, can you believe the sex these people are having? This is beautiful. I mean, this has to be, I don't know, I keep saying this has to be satire, but I've read enough stuff to know that it ain't always, you know. You might have seen on my page that I now have a Patreon. So for just £2, you will get exclusive access to my blooper reel with unseen bits that I haven't yet posted on this channel. And at the highest tier, you will get your naming credits at the end of my videos. Bearing in mind that I post a video 5 times a week, that's a lot of videos you're going to get your naming credits on. If not, a little like and a subscribe on my channel help a lot. That's it for this episode of r/menwritingwomen. You know, the more that I actually read the excerpts from this subreddit, I don't know if any of these men have actually ever met a woman in their lives. You know, it's kind of like the Michelangelo tits on a statue, but in writing form. Look that up if you don't know what I'm on about. And as I say at the end of every episode, if you enjoyed hearing from this subreddit or would like to hear from any other subreddit, then do let me know in the comments. And until then, I'll see you all next time.